let's tap into that, like the Bron and the Kobe thing, because I think when we talk about Bron, obviously we hold him to high regards of what he was able to accomplish, rightfully so. But when you look at Bron and you look at Kobe, Bron is the system. Mm-hmm. Do we agree with that?
Yep.
Bron is the system. Kobe played in the system. Mm-hmm. Do you think if Bron played in a system like the triangle and Kobe was the system, do they have the same type success individually?
What's good, everybody? Welcome to Outside the Playbook. I do have a migraine right now because I don't know if it's the long day that I had or some of the comments Tracy McGrady been making all year. Before we get into the conversation about he was the system, he was in the system, they had, offenses built around him. Before we get into that, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, click the link down below in the description to get discounts on brands like Fanatics, Dad Gang, and Dubby. Let's break it down.
I'm tired of being humble. I'm tired of letting people think they got a chance. This is my show. This is my camera. I run it all.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to Outside the Playbook. We have been doing some renovations, but make sure you still hit that like button, that subscribe button. Let's talk about some of the comments that Tracy McGrady made on Gils Arena. Here's what they had to say.
That's the question.
You got them in deep thought right now, Ponder. So you put
put Bron in the triangle.
with Shaq?
In the triangle. No, put him in the triangle. I'm just saying, put him in the triangle. It doesn't.
Oh, okay, put him in the triangle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does he have that same success as a player?
Oh, Kobe?
Both of them. If Cole played like Bron, pace, controlling tempo, facilitating.
Oh, pass the ball? Nah, he ain't passing
No.
So Bron. So what you saying? So
that. The 81.
No. Okay, so if you're taking,
Bron can't play like Bron can't play like Kobe, or Kobe can't play like Bron in the system.
Kobe can't play like Bron. I gotta give him those teams too. Then
Give him the teams.
So I gotta give him the
teams.
The teams he scored all the points on and they didn't win nothing because
Give him the teams.
He don't care about them.
So he don't win.
Yeah, 81.
He's gonna get the scoring. He's gonna get all the scoring titles. He's gonna get the scoring titles.
But he
has
ain't
a
gonna
record in scoring for sure.
But he's not gonna win, Swag.
No, but I don't think LeBron could be like Kobe though. That's the thing. I don't think LeBron would never win a championship.
See,
in the triangle.
In a triangle, I think
because he gotta shoot and do all that other stuff. He can't drive it. Ain't no driving lanes for him.
It's because I'm in a triangle.
Here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say to this. If Bron got introduced to the triangle at an early age,
that's different.
Bron would have expanded his game.
I'm about to say that would be different.
Tremendously.
Yeah.
We probably would be seeing he's not as fast or uber athletic like he once was. But if we take Bron, who he is now, with the athleticism, speed and everything, agility, and put him in that triangle, learning that, I think we're talking about, I don't think it's a question.
Yeah, you couldn't.
I don't think there's a question who the greatest player would be.
Now, a number of things, okay? There's a couple of things that we need to address. Number one, LeBron playing like Kobe, Kobe playing like LeBron. That's a useless argument because they have two different styles. But mind you, think of players like Draymond Green, Scottie Pippen. That's LeBron's skill set. So I think in the triangle, he might be limited in that aspect because facilitator, things like that, he might be limited in that role. Kobe, he was a scorer's mentality. So in the triangle offense, he was going to be featured as such. Featuring LeBron as just a scorer or things like that, at times, I think that takes away some of his game. All right. Now, The way I see it is this. Kobe Bryant and his style of play, his scoring mentality, his relentless scoring mentality is what the Cleveland Cavaliers needed in 2007 in the NBA Finals. The Spurs are not going to give him the same looks, the same opportunities, and they're probably going to respect him more as a scorer in that series. Because guess what? Nobody knew the Spurs better than Kobe, right? Flip side, LeBron in LA at that time, in 04-05, there was no system. It was give the ball to Kobe. Phil wasn't there. There was no triangle offense. 05-06, okay, came back into the fold. Let's run it again. They have some success. They get to the playoffs, right? The way I see that situation playing out, I think they have better players coming to LA. Because when you think about it, everybody's still thinking Kobe ran Shaq out of town. Nobody's coming to play with Kobe at that time. LeBron there, young LeBron, talented LeBron, explosive, exciting, all that. They're going to come to LA to play with Bron in that scenario. So I think two different scenarios, two different, reasons why it could work out. But having them play the same style, useless. It makes no sense to even have that conversation. The triangle offense. The triangle offense is not a magic wand you wave and all of a sudden we win championships. Number one, you got to have great players in that offense. That's when you start winning championships from it. If you have just regular players, one all-star and then everybody else kind of it's not going to work out that way. Ask Derek Fisher and the New York Knicks and Carmelo Anthony how that played out, right? Let me show you this. All right, this is a very straightforward, very basic, couple actions, not too many, not the full breakdown. But this is what some of the things look like in the triangle offense, some of the things you'll see. This is a read and react offense, and the start of each read and react is very different, right? You can have it in the post, you can throw it to the wing, you can throw it to the elbow, and then that triggers X, Y, and Z, right? This is in a basic sense. I do not mean to dumb this down, but I just want to make sure I get a point across. It's going to promote spacing, player movement, ball movement, and make sure at all times, even in the jam or even to start the offense, we're running things through our best players, right? If you have Kobe and Mike, they can come off a screen or they can get downhill, get the ball, get to the basket, right? Or they can spin to the block, get a post up, and they have opportunities to isolate out of this. The reason why the triangle was so good for teams that had great players is because all 5 players on the basketball court had to know read situations and reactions, right? This happens, I need to do this. If that happens, I need to do this. Read and react. All 5 players were required to know how to play basketball. Nobody was allowed to stand still or anything like that. LeBron and Draymond Green said there's players in the NBA that don't know how to play basketball. If you're in the triangle offense, I'm going to tell you how to play basketball. Simple. Don't mean to disrespect the complexity of the triangle offense, but that's just the basics for everybody to understand. That's what it was. That's why when you see Kobe and Shaq run it, that's why you see Scottie and Mike run it. That's why you see, some people may not know this, but the San Antonio Spurs championship run, they used a lot of triangle principles. That's why they had success around Tim Duncan. Golden State Warriors, they expanded it to the three-point line. That's why you have success with Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, and Draymond Green. Pay attention. I just named maybe 4 or 5 of the top 10 players in NBA history, not to mention Kevin Durant in the mix with the Golden State Warriors a couple seasons. 5, 6 players in the top 10 all time had championship success. There's also teams that have run this offense, never seen a championship. Why? Because they don't have the caliber players in this offense, right? Now, the other part of that is every single team that has ever won a championship in the NBA, they have a system built around their star players. That's how they have success in the postseason, which leads them to the finals, and they have success in the NBA finals, winning the championship. When you think about what if LeBron had this? What if LeBron had that? He did. And it's not me saying this. It's not me making this up. It's not me making assumptions, okay? I'm a Miami Heat fan. I do have biased opinions, but he himself said Eric Spoelstra is the reason why they got those championships in Miami after the collapse in 2011.
Got together in Miami.
Yeah.
The conversations with Chris about his role, but also the decision to sort of move him to the 5, which, by the way, was not right away.
No, it wasn't.
Like, was there pushback on that at the time? Do you remember, like, those conversations? Because, you know, I know UD was there, Joel Anthony was there.
Yep. Yeah, my first year, Big Z was there, and
Big
Eric
Z
Dampier.
and Eric Dampier.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you when it all changed. Obviously, my first year there, you know, played great basketball, got all the way to the finals, losing the finals. I played like shit. Spo is the reason why we were a better team and our team was more assembled properly. That summer, he went to Oregon and hung out with Chip Kelly.
Oh, interesting.
He when we lost to Dallas, he went to Oregon and hung out with Chip Kelly and learned the spread offense and tried to figure out if he could translate that to basketball. And don't know the super conversations that him and Chip had, but I know when he came back to us, he knew in order for us to reach our potential, one, I had to be fucking 10 times better than I was in that previous June finals. But Chris Bosh had to go to the 5. And CB being who he is, there was no pushback. There was no pushback. He knew.
Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the terminology of what they called this style of play that Eric Spoelstra learned. If you play 2K, you've probably seen it. Pace and space. Now, that's simply put, get out and run. I need space. Chris Bosh moves to the 5. He starts shooting threes. Now I got Mike Miller on the court. I got Shane Battier on the court. I got James Jones on the court. LeBron James has the ball in his hands. That's one form of it, right? Some of the other things that he picked up. All right, we need to have movement going towards the basket in different directions, opening up cutting lanes for LeBron and Dwayne Wade. How do we maximize that? Now we move Chalmers from the top of the key. We moved him to the corner. We moved Dwayne Wade to the opposite corner. We set screens for one side. We have a DHO on the other side or a pick and roll on the other side. We have D-Wade cutting to the elbow. Things like that, right? A lot. Their primary set was out of horns. If you know basketball, you know horns. That utilizes a whole different ball game because when you have LeBron and D-Wade in that, you can go to the left, you can go to the right, and you're in trouble either way, right? They implemented a system and a style of play built around their best players, and it worked. Because guess what? They do similar things in the NBA, the road to the NBA Finals in 2020, that Miami Heat team. 2023, that Miami Heat team. You know what they didn't have on those teams? They had Jimmy Butler. They had Bam Adebayo. They didn't have LeBron James. They didn't have Dwayne Wade. That's why it didn't result in a championship. Every time you implement a style or a system, you need the players to make it happen. In Miami, they had that. So guess what? The conversation surrounding if LeBron James would have had the triangle early in his career, or if he would have been in that offense, he would have had more championships and more success. No, if LeBron would have stayed in Miami, think about this. LeBron's been playing 22, 23 years, right? He left Miami in the summer of 2014. Summer of 2014. That is going to be 11 and a half, 12 years ago, because this is going to be his 12th season after Miami, right? Could you imagine LeBron staying in Miami that entire time? The next 12 years, LeBron would have 6 or 7 championships. Not even second guessing it. he'd probably have 6 or 7 championships, because the thing that they're talking about is what he had in Miami. He had the coach, he had the system, or someone who is willing to go to such great lengths to build a system around him. And guess what? Everybody talking about, oh, he ain't have Phil Jackson. Well, guess what? Phil Jackson wasn't Phil Jackson until he took over in 1989 for the Chicago Bulls. Phil Jackson was the assistant coach on those teams. He was there for like 2 or 3 seasons before he was named the head coach. Phil Jackson was a nobody. Then he gets 3 championships. Then he comes back and gets 3 more. Now he's Phil Jackson. Eric Spoelstra, same thing. He was coaching before LeBron got there, before the Big Three formed. Had some decent years, 5th seed in the playoffs, right? Then he got some championships. Now we're looking at Spo. Ooh, Spo was able to figure this out. Okay, all these players go. You get a new regime. Ooh, Spo's still able to figure it out and get them to the finals. Spo is a great coach. Good, bad, and ugly. He's going to figure out a way to get it done. That's the same thing. That's what we're always talking about in this scenario. LeBron had that in Miami and he left. Do what you want to do. Got a championship at Cleveland. Got a championship with the Lakers. Fine. Nobody's mad at that, but we got to stop having a conversation as to, all right, you know, LeBron didn't have these advantages in a career. He did. He chose to leave. Give this video a like, subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments. Was LeBron the system, or could he have played in the system? And could Kobe thrive being the system himself? That's one more for the good guys.